Are you ready? I didn't listen. Are you ready? Okay. So, música, maestro? Let's do it.
Welcome and bienvenue, welcome, friend, étranger, stranger, new Tuesday, just is enchanté, happy to see you, life is to stay.
This is so funny because I can look and I need to do like this.
Oh,
And after that, I mean,
how cool is that?
even that I cannot.
Does one get to buy eyeglasses like that, or?
Yeah, in Spain.
Oh, how, is there your mom?
My mother bring for me. I think it's easy to.
You better change your way. Hit me, John. I'm talking to you. Gotta lay off my food, Joe. Next thing another means you got lots of food around like. You better stop. You better change. 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 You better stop. You better change your ways. I said stop. Change. Stop, please.
How long have you been performing
Together?
this? Yeah.
Yeah, about 25 years
Oh my god.
performing together. Yeah, we start in the street,
I see.
and after that we become to make theaters, and we have another shows,
Mm-hmm.
more new shows. But this is the old one.
I
It's
see.
for 25 years making. I don't need these glasses 25 years. You try to look with this makeup because our body is a toy,
I see.
and we try to look like a toy or like a comic,
Mm.
you know, like a knife draw to make believe the toy.
I am from Greatest Noida. I was in the Greatest Honor.
You just get it now. There are 30 second videos. Just get
One. Countdown शुरू कर दे रितेश. 1, 2, 3, and.
You are in Sri Ram's Performing Arts Center for the play. Beloved, do you want to speak a bit about the play?
Sure. Beloved is an exploration of queerness. I'd say modern Indian queerness, today's queerness. We delve into the writings of 17 different writers, like Josh Malihabadi to Ben Kakkar to Aditya Angiras, Akhil Katyan, Madhavi Menon, several writers, Salim Gilwai. So it is a sort of a coming together of all these writings to tell the story of celebration of, and you know, it's a celebration in its entirety. So it's also being vulnerable, it's also changing space, it's many shades. Can you just introduce yourself first, please?
I'm MD Pallavi, I'm from Bangalore.
And the play you're acting.
I've come here to Delhi with Desdemona Roopakam. It's a Nalanda Art Studio production and it's a devised performance piece. It's directed by Abhishek Majumdar and it's performed by Bindu Malini and myself.
Tigers breathing between their thighs, and they set out for battle with all three eyes on fire and their golden breasts held high like weapons to the sky.
Starting from, what did Desdemona say or did not say? And kind of then taking on that argument further into our own epics and storytelling forms, where we kind of look into the missing voices of women, or how much of agency do the women have in the stories that we are telling. So we do use the Harikatha form and the Yakshagana form. We tell the stories of Shakuntala. We tell the story of...
I like both the lines that interprets love as what is love if not the desire to belong to some place, or the guilt of wanting that which is not allowed. I think they both contain a lot of truth and shades of what we think love is.
I think you guys do throughout the entire play with form also that which is not normally quote unquote allowed or understood to be allowed. You move from one thing to the other thing to the other. How do you think that helped tell this story better?
It is the two of us being able to go in and out of multiple worlds. So it's not just that we sometimes become man or male or female. It is also that sometimes we are Harikatha, we are Yakshagana, sometimes we are classical, sometimes we are folk, sometimes we are English, sometimes we are Tamil, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada. So the identities are not just about gender.
मैडम जी बहुत ही उम्दा कुक है कुक कानून की खिचड़ी ख्याली पुलाव आर्गुमेंट्स जुडिशरी की इज्जत का फालूदा और सबके दिमाग का दही कितना इजीली बनाते हैं और वो भी फुल.
So Beloved was an amazing production, really. I've been trying to see it for the last 2 years and then I finally managed to see it. I found it amazing, I found it thrilling, and not just because the parts of the production used my work as well. It was difficult to see whether it was a play, whether it was a piece of installation art, whether it was a diatribe, whether it was a polemic, whether it was a political statement. And I found that sort of generic mixture really exciting in the play itself. And in general, I really loved all the Nach Gana, all the music, all the variety of languages, variety of formal strains of acting, theatricality, dramaturgy that went into the production. But there was one thing for me that didn't quite work, and I think that's actually captured in the title itself, be-loved or beloved or be loved. The idea of love to me was much more playful in the play. Those are the parts of the play that worked with Bollywood songs, that worked with dressing up, that worked with jokes that come to us from a history of popular culture, popular desire, that are not very reverent, that are extremely in your face, and that are not particularly polite, right? That was the sort of loved part of it. But then I thought at moments the play sank back into the B part of the title with its insistence on identity, with its insistence on a certain kind of ontological identity for the queer, which included the sort of last scene of saying, here is our plea for queer inclusivity, which, to my mind is about queer betrayal, because it's about specifying the identity of the queer. And I think that tension worked in the play throughout. At some points it actually worked productively. At some points I think it took away from the edginess of the play by speaking a language of identity which is far more mainstream and far more pedestrian than other parts of the play suggested it could be.
कहना मुश्किल है मैडम जी, मगर प्रोसिक्यूशन ने इसमें डाल दिया है होमोफोबिया का तीखा तड़का।
हेलो अब ये जो हमारा मैरिनेशन है उसमें हम डालेंगे ये टाइम मैगजीन जो कि accused सुरेश के कमरे से बरामद की गई है।
ऑब्जेक्शन हुजूर अब मैगजीन पढ़ना भी गुनाह हो गया है क्या?
ये कोई मामूली मैगजीन नहीं है माय लॉर्ड। टाइम मैगजीन के इस इश्यू में होमोसेक्सुअलिटी, समलैंगिकता के बारे में एक पूरा लंबा चौड़ा आर्टिकल मिला। समलैंगिकता? जी हाँ, और पुलिस को डिसीज्ड कुमार के कमरे से नहीं, दो नहीं, तीन, चार मिलॉर्ड, पूरे के पूरे 4 लेटर्स बरामद किए, और ये ऐसे वैसे लेटर्स नहीं हैं, these are love letters.
I don't know if theatre is the most queer form available to us. I think the notion of acting certainly can be, not just because of what I said earlier, which is that acting presumes an ability of a self to move outside itself. And that very idea that you can move outside yourself seems to suggest that there is no fixity of the self. And so acting depends on a non-fixity of the self, which is of course an extremely queer idea. But then acting can range across cinema, stage acting, nukkad drama. Any of those forms can be queer in that sense. But queerness also, of course, very much has to do with the idea of fantasy. And in that regard, I think cinema might be more queer as a form than theatre. Even though, of course, there are theatrical events that are queer because they explicitly dwell on the idea of fantasy. So the notion of desiring or identity or identification very much as a consequence of a fantasy, the imagination, the flight of fantasy, the flight of imagination, is very much tied with performance itself.
The fact that you're watching something in real time, flesh and blood, it's personal, it's intimate, and I always say that a show is made, it only completes itself when you have an audience, right? So there is no barrier in the medium. So I think what it really does is it makes you feel and think together.
So inasmuch as theatre can really prick the illusion of the illusion by saying, oh my God, I forgot my line, or oh my God, I just had a wardrobe malfunction. And that idea of life is not seamless. The self is not seamless, right? The self breaks apart at various points. There are interruptions to the language of the self, to the narrative of the self. That perhaps is an advantage that live theatre might possess over cinema.
And I think that is the power of theatre. I think you're really able to feel and think at the same time with the performer, and that is, I don't think it's ever going to go. People always talk about theatre's not dying. I think especially today, where we've stopped making eye contact with each other, right? Where we're all in our cell phone, and we think that is it's interesting and exciting. Something like this, I would like to assume, makes you experience what it is to be alive.
Serene. Serene.
Celine. Celine.
Serene. SERENE.
Like serene.
Serene. Thank you.
Very Christian.
Yeah.